Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I'm going to be reviewing an album what celebrates its 40th anniversary this week. I'm going to be talking about Wings at the Speed of Sound by Paul McCartney and Wings, of course. So this album was released on the 25th of March in 1976. It was Wings' fifth album and Paul McCartney's seventh solo album after the breakup of the Beatles. The album came after Venus and Mars and a successful British and Australian tour throughout 1975. The band basically took Christmas off and returned in January 1976 to record this album at Abbey Road Studios. The album is unique in the respect that it has lead vocals from every single member of Wings, the drummer Joe English on this album, he gets a lead vocal, guitarist Jimmy McCulloch, and even Linda gets a song which she sings. As soon as the album was finished in March of that year, Wings went on a hugely successful American tour, what is documented on the album Wings Over America, and this was very much the peak of McCartney's success and popularity as a solo artist. The album spent 7 consecutive weeks at #1 in the US charts, and it reached #2 in Britain, becoming the 4th biggest selling album of 1976. Right, so I'm now just going to show my 2 copies of it. I have the vinyl and I have the archive CD. I haven't bothered getting the archive box set for this one yet, and I'm not really too interested in getting that one. But here is the CD. Just you get this standard book. With a couple of pictures, some of which we haven't seen before, and then the 2 CDs, and there's another CD in there. Now we do get a couple of bonus tracks with the CD, but they're nothing much. It's just a couple of demo songs of Silly Love Song, She's My Baby, Must Do Something About It, Letterman, and Warm and Beautiful. Probably the highlight from this bonus disc is a version of Beware My Love with John Bonham on drums. He was the drummer, of course, from Led Zeppelin, so that version of Beware My Love is absolutely killer, but a rather poor bonus content on the CD. Here's the vinyl here. This is a original British copy from 1976 here. There's the back cover there. I do like the back cover. The back cover's pretty nice. I'm not a big fan of the front cover. It's supposed to be a theatre or a cinema sort of the letters they put at the film or whatever show's on. This just Wings at the Speed of Sound and that. So the album cover isn't all that great for me. Anyway, here is the inner sleeve here, and just the record is this here. So there's the label. I do like the custom labels what McCartney put on on his albums around this time. So nice label though. Right, so now I'm just going to go over all of the album songs. I'm going to give each track a score out of 10, and then those will be used to get a percentage score for the album. Sister Susie. The opening song is called Letterman, a very simple song. This is probably the word that I use to describe this. I really like the melody to this one. They're very catchy, certainly an earworm, this track. And it's a very primitive recording. He just sort of adds layers as he's going along. Just starts off with just the piano and his voice, and then you get the different marching band come in, and then horns and trombones and that. It's very sort of stripped back sort of production, very simple. But I do like the style. He just added different bits on here and there. But for me, the reason why I'm not giving this a high score is it is just such a repetitive song, and it's far too long. It's about 5 minutes long, and it's just far too long for me. And I don't mind long songs. I love a lot of long songs, but it's just when they get repetitive this one here, there's probably far too many couple too many choruses on this song what he goes into. It's just far too long for me. If this was about a 2-minute number, probably would have been about a 9 out of 10 for me, but it's just so drawn out. I could just not one of my favourite McCartney singles. But it was a success, so it did reach #2 in the UK singles charts and #3 in America. So overall pretty decent track, but just not one of my favourites.
But he never is gonna get
Then the second song up is called The Note You Never Wrote, and I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Now I think that I might be like a little bit harsh like on this song, but it's a rather sort of slower, drearier track sung by Denny Lane, and like I must say, like I do think that his voice does like fit this track. But like overall though, for me, I'm just not a huge fan of this song here. Like it does pick up about like halfway through, and we get like a nice guitar solo from Jimmy McCulloch. But just for me, this song like doesn't do too much.
She my baby, she comes out at night, she taking me by.
Third track in is called She's My Baby, and I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. This is a very, very catchy song, I have to say. I had this stuck in like my head on like one of my exams like last year, and like it's like a very, very, very catchy song as well, and like very simple like production. It's mostly just Paul and like an electric piano with like a little bit of like guitar work on it. But the lyrics of this though are like mostly just crap, I'd say. Like they're very, very, very simple, very silly lyrics. I mean, like what do they go like like gravy, she comes out at night, or like I'm mopping up. It's just very, very silly, very immature lyrics for like McCartney. But I must say though, I do like the stripped down like production. That was maybe like a consequence like of like them like rush recording like this album, like almost like to fit in like with like the tour schedule. But like that they didn't have enough time to really like perfect and like polish these recordings. But yeah, like I'd say that like I like this song, but it just like isn't like one of like McCartney's finest. And then the fourth track in is like what a lot of people would consider to be the highlight from the album. It is a song called Beware My Love. And I do like this song, but for me it kind of seems like sort of like McCartney by numbers sort of thing. Like he's just thought, oh, we need a rocker like on this album, so let's rewrite Jet, or like let's rewrite Junior's Farm or Rock Show. It sort of seems like that. I like a lot of people really like rave about this song, and like I do like it. I like the wee sort of stages like what it goes through. It starts off with like a very like sort of like a soft like acoustic like introduction, and then like sort of nice vocal harmonies, which isn't actually on the live version on Where's It Here, like Wings Over America. It just goes straight into the song on this album here. But I do like the introduction like on this one here. But then like the song gets going, and like it's maybe just like a little bit too long again, a little bit too like repetitive, and like yeah, like it's just like the token rocker for this album, and like it isn't like one of like my favourites from like McCartney's sort of like hard heavy rock songs. And now closing side one is a song written by the guitarist Jimmy McCulloch. It is a song called Wino Junko, and I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. Now I think this is a decent track, but for me it isn't as good as his song Medicine Jar from Venus and Mars, which I think is one of like the best songs on that album. This one is like a bit more like acoustic, but it's very much about like the same sort of like topic about like drugs and like drinking and that sort of thing. Like he was going through like a lot of like issues like around this time, like regarding like drugs and like alcohol abuse, and like he like died unfortunately in 1979. But yeah, like for me, like compared to like Medicine Jar, this is a rather like average like song by comparison. It's like a breezy like arrangement to it, and like I must say, like I do like the middle section. We have some like really nice sort of like guitar work. Kind of reminds me like a little bit of like Pink Floyd. Like almost gets like a bit of like prog rock like in like this song here, like towards the end of it a bit, and like it does have like some nice guitar work. But like the actual song itself is like just lacking for me. Like. And then opening up now to side 2, we have Silly Love Songs, and probably one of McCartney's most popular songs, and like I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Now I do like this song a lot, but isn't one like my absolute favourite like McCartney singles. Like as with like Letterman, like I kind of feel like it's a little bit like overrated, this song. Sort of like the lyrics on this one are like sort of like aimed at like his critics like around this time, who like sort of like accused McCartney like of being like too soft and like that. But like McCartney's saying here like there's nothing wrong with that. But like the music of this one here is more sort of like disco like orientated, with like a really nice bass line, doesn't it? I think McCartney's bass playing like on this track is like certainly like the highlight from it. Yeah, and this was a massive single, reached number 2 in the UK and number 1 in America. So like yeah, like one of like McCartney's most successful songs, but for me just not one of like my personal favourites. And then we get what I would probably consider the worst song from this album, and probably one of Wings' worst songs what have he ever done. A song called Cook of the House. This one is sung by Linda. And it's a very, very, very cringe-worthy song, sort of like done nice, sort of like old school sort of 50s rock and roll style. But for me, it's just a bad song, and like there's nothing really like redeeming about it. I mean, like it's got like a sort of like a decent beat and that, like that's why I maybe like giving it like a 2. But like yeah, it's just crap basically, and like album filler. And then we get another song sung by Denny Lane. This one he actually wrote, a song called Time to Hide, and I really like this song actually. A more sort of like rockin' track, slightly like harder like Rocket Edge, and like I really like this song. Like giving it like an 8 out of 10. Still like a little bit too long, but like for me, one of like the better ones like on this album.
And I must do something about it. Yes,
and then we have another great song actually like in my books, a song called Must Do Something About It. Like, and this one is sung by the drummer Joe English, and he can really sing like on this song. Like he's like he's quite a good singer. Like his voice does fit like the subject matter like of this song, which is like quite like melancholy lyrics about sort of like loneliness. But like on the bonus CD of this, you get McCartney singing this song here. But I do think that Joe English version like is actually better. Like he like his voice is definitely more suited to this song, and like I would have maybe liked to hear him like sing something like Venus and Mars, because I do think that he is like a terrific singer.
your little man, brings your trinkets.
And then we close the album with 2 McCartney numbers, the first one of which is called San Ferian, and I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. It's a rather average acoustic number. Really like doesn't go like anywhere, this song for me. It's just not like average for Paul, and like it's like the lyrics like really like don't make much sense. It's just like an average, rather forgettable album filler track. But like it is listenable, this song, but it's sort of like for me like goes like in one ear and out the other.
A love so warm and beautiful.
And then we close the album with a McCartney ballad, a song called Warm and Beautiful. Now, like a lot of people really like rave about this song, say that it's one of like his finest ballads, like what he's ever done. But for me, it's incredibly generic. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. It does have like a really nice tune to it, like really nice melody. There's a version like he done this on like an album called Working Classical, what was sort of like classical arrangements. I think that version on like that album really shines out like the melody, probably like more than this one here. And like this track, like it has like grown on me like a little bit, because I used to really like not like this song. But the lyrics on this one aren't anything we haven't heard before from McCartney. Like he's all like expressing like his love for Linda. So I like stuff like My Love and maybe I'm Amazed. Like do like that sort of thing like much better than this song. But like yeah, like it's okay for me. So overall, it would be a score of 68% for this album, and you probably like gather by this point that I'm not a massive fan of this. I would probably say this is Wings' weakest album, maybe because he did also do Wildlife, which is maybe like a little bit worse compared to this. But like yeah, certainly in like the bottom of like the barrel for like McCartney's, and like also like Wings' stuff as well. It is quite like an inconsistent album, but I wouldn't like put that down to like the fact that like it's like all like the band members who like get to sing. I mean like because like stuff like Time to Hide and Must Do Something About It for me are like among the best stuff like on this album. Like and like Why No Junko is like okay as well. It's just maybe like this album was like a bit rushed, and like McCartney like, was under like time pressure to like get this like released. And like you can maybe like tell like that through like the songwriting quality. So like yeah, like it's like slightly like lazy songwriting on like this one here, but it does have like nice tunes. And like again, we also have like a rather like generic sort of like arrangements to these songs as well. Now like and like also like some like rather generic like arrangements like on this one here. Like there's nothing what really like stands out to me like on here. Like I'd probably say like Silly Love Songs and Beware My Love are like the 2 highlights like from this album. And like although this album does have like its big fans, it's like mostly from people like you were like there like around like this time, because as I mentioned like before, this was McCartney's commercial peak, and many fans have like fond memories of like the Wings Over America tour and that. So like, this album that does have its fans, just like for me how like the album New from Paul will always be like one like my like absolute favourite McCartney albums, because I was there to like experience it, and like I was like a massive fan of Paul. Like I followed like its like release and like everything. So like, this is like this album is for like a lot of like older fans. So I hope you have enjoyed this review. Like I'd be interested to know what you think of this album below, because it does get like a bit of like a mixed like reception from like fans. Some people love it, some people sort of like go on like the fence with it. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.